In the past, Nexus Mods have found themselves the subject of gamers' backlash because they decided to remove certain mods from their site for ideological reasons. In late 2023 was a pretty good example because for people who remember, Starfield had the pronoun selection at the character creation. Someone decided to create a mod and host it on Nexus Mods that removed that entirely from the game. And then they decided to remove that mod from their site. Now, they are allowed to host whatever mods they want to have on their own site, but still, I think that was a pretty silly reason to remove it, especially when you consider that a lot of people defending the pronoun selection were basically saying like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just pronouns and you can just ignore it if you want. People are like, well, okay, fine. If I want to ignore it, I'm going to install this mod that you can ignore it. Then they're like, no, you can't do that. You have to have it in there, but ignore it. It's like, because it's not a big deal. It's like, okay, it's obvious what you were trying to do with that and people just weren't falling for it. And that's why Nexus Mods decided to remove that mod entirely. And then the year after that, released, when was this? Oh no, this is actually before. So in 2022, so before that happened, there was the mod for the Spider-Man game that removed the pride flags from the game and replaced them with American flags. Nexus Mods banned the account that created that mod and removed that mod from their site, basically saying that we stand for inclusivity and other things like that. And if you don't like it, then delete your account, which I thought this one was particularly funny because it's not like a person really modded the game to include the American flags. What they did is basically got the Middle Eastern version of the game and just replaced the dialogue and other stuff like that with English. So because when they created the game, they created two versions, one for Middle Eastern countries and one for Western countries. The Western countries had pride flags. The Middle Eastern countries had American flags because the game takes place in the US, so it makes more sense that way. So yeah, I thought that one was particularly funny when that happened because it just goes to show that not only did Nexus Mod do it because of ideological reasons, but also the developer really doesn't care for any principles. They just want to do what they thought would sell better in each individual region. So that's what they decided to do. But this latest news coming out of Nexus Mods, I really don't understand why they're doing it. There's political reasons that you can point to, but then there's other details in this that, I don't know, it kind of gives me pause as to why they're doing it entirely. So I'm only left speculating, but still, it does feel like it is politically motivated. Nexus Mods removes Marvel Rivals mod that depicted Donald Trump as Captain America. Now, right off the bat, I just think this is kind of silly and funny. I mean, this is really what modding's about. It's not doing anything to give anyone an advantage. It's not illegal content. It's just something silly, purely cosmetic for people who want to do that. And if you want to do this, then fine, you should be given the choice. If you don't want to have Donald Trump as Captain America, fine, you don't have to install that mod yourself. So Nexus Mod removing this, I think it is only just ideologically driven, but I will get to more of the details because there are some things in this that suggest that they just want to keep everything neutral, which if that's the case, I think they failed at that objective. A mod depicting Donald Trump as Captain America and NetEase's Marvel Rivals has been removed from Nexus Mods. Ex-user Pirate Nation shared a screenshot of what the mod looked like in game as it replaced Captain America's head with Donald Trump. And yeah, there you go right there. And honestly, that's just funny right there. I don't know why anyone would be upset about it, but apparently some people were. Here's a video from Akamori Rivals showing off the mod in action, so you can see that if you want. Within an hour of Pirate Nation's post, Nexus Mods had removed the mod from their website. When attempting to access it, a message now reads, "The mod you are looking for couldn't be found," and there's a screenshot of it right here. A similar mod that replaced Captain America's head with Joe Biden was also removed. It's unclear why these mods were removed. And this is the detail that I think gives me a little bit pause about whether or not it's politically motivated. I still think it is, but if they were to remove the Donald Trump one and leave the Joe Biden one, then it would obviously be politically motivated. Maybe the Nexus mod, they're just so far left they don't even like Joe Biden, because I know there's a lot of fringe people in the country who don't like him because he's not extreme enough. So maybe that's the people at Nexus Mods. Given their track record, I can see that being a possibility here. So they don't like either of them, or maybe both mods were created, but no one actually used the Joe Biden one. So Nexus Mods is going to remove both anyway, because like, well, we want to get rid of the Donald Trump one, so we'll get rid of this other one too that no one else is using, just so we can at least appear that we're being neutral. but I'm just personally not buying it if that's really what they're trying to do. Nevertheless, numerous individuals have not only expressed their distaste with Nexus Mods removing the Trump mod on X, but questioned why it was removed in the first place. One individual wrote, "When did Nexus Mods decide free speech doesn't apply to modders?" To be fair, though, they are a private company. They can do what they want, but I do think that they should allow modders to do whatever they want, just so long as they're not doing anything illegal or creating mods that are giving them some type of advantage or whatever. When it's just purely cosmetic like this, then I think they probably should leave them alone, even if it does go against their personal sensibilities. Banning something as harmless as Trump as Captain America is just ridiculous. It's fun, creative, and it wasn't hurting anyone. 100% agree with that. It's crazy how fragile some people seem to be when it comes to stuff like this. Gaming used to be about freedom and creativity, but over the last few years, it's been bogged down with microtransactions, forced agendas, and unnecessary censorship. Hopefully, things are starting to shift because gamers are clearly tired of it. Let people enjoy what they want without all this control. Yeah, I agree. People should be able to play and do what they want with these games. If they're able to mod them, then they should be able to mod them how they want to do it. Again, with the caveats, just so long as they're not doing anything illegal with it. And they asked, why did you ban this Trump Marvel's Rivals mod? Hedrotep posted, "Bring back America." And that is a funny picture. I'll give him credit for that. Trump Barbado asked, based on what you banned the Captain Trump mod. All right, so that's all. Numerous individuals shared a meme of Donald Trump with his hand on what appears to be Kamala Harris's shoulder. As she sees this, Zeltina wrote, "It's going to be interesting watching sites like Nexus slowly adapt or fail to the reality that the Overton window has shifted." And that is something true that we've seen over the last couple of years. A lot of gamers have actually united and said that we're tired of a lot of these game studios and other things like that pushing overtly political agendas. Now, does that mean that they should get rid of this? Because obviously having Donald Trump as Captain America is a political statement, but the difference being here is that it's not a political statement by anyone within the industry. It's just a certain person's own opinion. Like if they wanted to have their character called like MAGA or Make America Great, or having a clan tag of MAGA or something like that, if they want to do that, fine. Individual gamers can do whatever they want. If they want to have Donald Trump as Captain America, if they wanted to mod it to have the characters wearing MAGA hats or something like that, they should be allowed to do that. It's not hurting anyone, and it's not the game studio or modding site like Nexus Mods making any statement. They're saying like, hey, people can do what they want, so we're free of all this. And me personally, that's what I want. It's like, is it kind of ridiculous if people decided to do this sort of thing in the game? Well, sure it is, but still, that's their choice. Like I said, it's not the studios doing it. Like if they would have actually made the game that way, where it had Donald Trump as Captain America, or if they made Captain America look suspiciously like Donald Trump in the game itself, then I'd be like, okay, come on, you don't need to do that sort of thing. It's like, we don't want to be political. Or if they actually have a game where it has more overtly political tones and you're trying to equate it to reality, it's like, even if I agree with what the statements that they're making, I would still say like, I don't want that in the game. This sort of thing though, since it's individual gamers actually creating it, I think this should be allowed. And I think it was a bad move by Nexus Mod to remove it. Even if they're trying to seem more impartial by removing the Joe Biden one, it still ultimately hurts them. And I think it probably is only a matter of time until another site rises up to start hosting mods. Because one thing about Nexus Mod is, even though they're pretty convenient, they're not the only ones who can actually do what they do. And other people, I think, eventually are going to get to the point where they say like, we're going to host everything out there just so long as it's not illegal content. And then people are going to be like, okay, we're going to start going to them, and that's going to be the new thing. Or maybe we're going to see like an Elon Musk Twitter fiasco where someone else decides to take over Nexus Mods and, I don't know, basically changes it from the inside out. We don't know what's going to happen, but one thing is for sure, that the way Nexus Mod operates right now isn't going to last if they're deciding to pick and choose what mods they decide to host purely on ideological reasons. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you actually support having this type of mod, or do you think it's getting too political, even if it's not by the developer or anything like that, that people shouldn't be inserting this stuff in their games? Comment below, let me know. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there, because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.